Okay, back to business. I don't know what happened there. It just stopped on me. So, I know where we was. We was on drying the coin after you rinse the coin. Hair dryer, not a bad idea. I mean, you're still going to leave a little bit of calcium, but you blow most of the water off. I like my microfiber cloth. It picks up the water and anything else that's in the water. I guess that's your choice. You always wonder about, like, what is hard enough to break the surface of silver? If I put sawdust on silver and rub it around, will it actually break the surface? Can wood break metal? Interesting. Of course, if you've got salt on it, then the wood is going to rub around the salt and that's going to haze it. So, gosh, I don't like that toning stuff. Where is it on if a neutralizing solvent is not used, then the water must be removed from the coin. Spotting can result if it's left to dry on its own. Use a hair dryer maybe, or a clean soft towel can be used, gently patting the coin. Do not rub as hairlines. Hazing is what I call it. Hairlines. I don't think you get hairlines. You get haze. Hairlines are more like, to me, hairlines come with steel wool or like a heavy cut polish. Polishes don't have to be heavy cut. They could be made out of sawdust, and sawdust is not hard enough to break silver. Or they could be made out of diamonds, and diamonds just cut right through the silver. A lot of it depending on the pressure and the velocity. How hard you push when you rub and how fast you rub. The lighter the rub, the slower the rub, the more shallower the cut and the less haze. Hairlines, haze. The faster you push, velocity, and the harder you press, pressure, press hard, push fast, you're going to get the haze. Okay? So controlling pressure and velocity on a polish oftentimes makes the difference as to whether it penetrates and what it penetrates, or what it doesn't penetrate and what it doesn't penetrate. Okay, my opinion. Back to the book. So that's, yeah, use a towel, dry it off. Another contaminant is so-called carbon spots. I don't know how much I want to read about. These appear as black, dark gray spots. Spots with unusually dark core, lighter toned rings, round core, small impurity, bed, echo, and surface. Some spots of peak impurity. Oh, this is from impurities in the ingots. Reacting. So they had problems with the ingots. These carbon spots sometimes be removed by dipping in a neutralizing or silver dip. Neutralizing being your solvent, like your gun solvent. A silver dip being a sulfuric acid and urea dip, ammonia, whatever, P, whatever. If that does not work, then use a cotton swab. A wooden toothpick can be used to dislodge the impurity. So it says you can use toothpicks, guys, and cotton swabs. However, it may leave a pit in the surface, which I would polish the pit. I wouldn't just leave it a nasty crater in my coin. or multiple craters in my coin all over the place, like a pimple face, polish them over. It's not going to get rid of the zit, but it's going to make it not as bad. Instead of a scab, it's going to be a scar. You want a scab or you want a scar, okay? So I try and reduce the scab to a scar if I can. I could grind the whole thing away with a wizard, but I don't want to do that. I don't remove the history of the coin. If this fails, then there's not much the average collector can do to remove the spots. So that's it. Sometimes you're had. That's a $25 coin. And now you can clean it all you want because that's the price from now on. You might actually clean it so much that somebody gives you more money, 26, 27. But basically, it's a goner. Coins, a lot of Morgans are just goners. And if it's a goner, then you can go ahead and clean it. It's not going to reduce the value beneath $25 unless it's like totally slicked, you know. $25 at the time. See, whatever the bottom is. And some people are like, you'll take $20 off of that. $20, it's got $15 worth of silver in it, so how can I? Impossible, right? There's got to be a bottom line. Impure metal streaks. Okay, I think this is talking about this slag, metal slag in the furnace, and some coins get streaks in them. I've seen coins with streaks that go all the way across the face, all the way across the coin, and there's multiple coins that have the same streaks. They're not scratches, they look like scratches, but multiple coins have them. They come from the metal, the silver strip. So I think that's what they're talking about. I'm not going to go into that a lot. Detached pieces. Talking about layering. Layers coming off. Copper metal, black areas embedded in the coin surface. Impurities cannot usually be removed. Dips will not phase them since they are. See, there's some things that dips just won't. There's a messed up in the silver, and no matter if you dip it or polish it or whatever, it's not going to go away. Wood. Occasionally, little flecks of wood will be found embedded in the surface of the coin. This is to be more prevalent for New Orleans. So sometimes you find some little pieces of wood. Where's that wind? In your coins. You can use a cotton swab. You can dip them in solvent. It's going to leave a depression, maybe. Since these chips were stuck between the planks and the die, chips were before the planks. So, night and clean is with sawdust after they had been whitened or cleaned in sulfuric acid, rinsed in boiling water. Okay, so this is after they've had the sulfuric bath before they're going actually into this. Have a coin strike that be struck, they get sawdust on them. So you're gonna have to clean that off. You're gonna have to clean that off, or have somebody do it. Circulated coins, of course, are coated to various degrees. Circulated coins are, of course, coated to various degrees with dirt and grease and grime. Removal of all this coating will result in an unnatural appearing coin, which is instantly recognized as being clean. Yeah, I would say that's right. The best advice is to leave the coin in its natural state. Well, maybe. I'm going to go maybe on that. There are a couple of exceptions to this rule. Yeah, however, if the coin is exceptionally dirty and dark looking, then it may help to remove just part of the dirt coating. This must be done evenly so not to give the coin an unnatural clean look. but you are unnaturally making it look like it looks. So unlike naturally, it should not have that dirt grime on it. So anyway, quick immersion in the neutralizing solution or silver dip. Go back there. You go back. You can either use gun cleaner or you can use sulfuric acid and dip it and try and get the dirt off. You got to rinse it in warm water. Carefully dry it. This makes it more natural looking and sanitary. No kidding. You could use some acetone, that's fingernail polish remover, on it to remove some of the excess dirt and grease. That's what this book is telling you. It's telling you to get a swab, put some fingernail polish remover on it, and clean that dirt and grease off your coin. That's what it says in the book. Right here, page 457 under circulation grime. Circulation grime is the section. Another reason to remove dirt and grease grime study. You need to take the dirt and grease and grime off to be able to study for variations that you may not see underneath the dirt. You may have a double strike or some kind of variation that makes the coin more valuable, but you can't see it because it's got dirt all over it, so you got to take the dirt off. You're going to have to clean the dirt and grime off. That's what it says in the book. Sorry. If you don't know how to do it right, have somebody else do it for you. Okay, so you can see the mint marks and letterings and whatever. It says use a Q-tip swab saturated with fingernail polish remover. Alright? The next section is proof Morgan dollars were sold by the Philadelphia Mint. Okay, proof dollars. They're sold by the Mint and put in envelopes. Okay, original unclean surfaces are toned because storage of these paper envelopes. Most of the toning consists of light shades, various colors, coins, delicate. You know, you can kind of see that kind of toning because it's on the face of the coin. It's not migrating out of the reeds of the edge of the coin. A lot of times, dip gets caught in the edges and it migrates to the center, from the outside to the center. So that's not the kind of toning they're talking about here. But this is, you know, it comes from the envelopes. More dollars have had their surface slightly scratched, rubbed, or cleaned in some way. This shows up as hairline scratches, shiny spots, points, well-known meaning, except removal. All you can do is rub it with a cloth. Oh, no. No. May have lightly rubbed the coin with a cloth, which invariably produces hairlines. No, you shouldn't rub it with a cloth. Also, the insertion removal or sliding around paper envelopes could produce hairline scratches. So they're saying paper can scratch a coin. Paper, it's like scissors, rocks, and rock, scissors, paper. The paper covers up the scissors. I don't know. I mean, can paper penetrate? Can you push paper hard enough to make it penetrate the surface of silver? Or are you worried about you're going to rub around that paper and it's going to rub around the salt, the sulfuric acid, salt, oxidants that are on the coin, and they're going to scratch it. They're going to haze the coin. That's what they're worried about here, I'm thinking. Therefore, the toning on proof should not be removed using silver dips. You should not use silver dip on a tone, on a proof. They should be left toned. In rare instances, obvious surface contaminants should be removed using only neutralizing solvent. So this is saying the only thing you clean a proof with is gun solvent or something like gun solvent. Maybe distilled water is good. Anyway, storage. There's a whole section on storage. Let's see. No, it's not very long. So let's see what it says. Things. You know, it started out in bags. Since the mid-60s, these bags were opened and dispersed. As long as the coin was not against the canvas, it was okay. If it's against the canvas, it's going to pick up the sulfuric acid in the canvas, and it's going to tone. And once it's toned, it does not look like it came from the mint. It looks like it's circulated and toned. My opinion. I don't know, they kind of say that in here. And people keeping their collections in envelopes and writing on the outside of the envelope. You know, going to pick up the sulfur. People who kept their collection in wood cabinets, trays, lined with velvet, pure cotton, the coins were left exposed to airborne contaminants in the atmosphere. The coin was free to slide on the cloth when the door opened. It was closed and introduced. Slight wear, cabinet friction. Yeah, I don't know. Doesn't really say whether being in a wood box, I keep mine in a wood box, is good or not. So, early collections also had available anti-tarnish tissue, which was free of sulfur, as well as sulfur-free paper envelopes. $1 wrapped in this tissue paper in a paper envelope, still somewhat open to the atmosphere, and the tissue rubbed against it, so it would produce hairline scratches. But at least they were trying to protect it from sulfur. Bulk storage. Silver dollars stored, canvas bags, rolls of 20 individual holders to prevent further tarnish. Removed and stored in rolls of 20 and individual holders, this to prevent further tarnishing and accumulations of bag marks. So in the 60s, they must have stopped storing them in bags and put them all in sulfuric-free rolls of 20. That's cool. But the paper could add tarnish. But the paper could add tarnish and did not seal the coins from the atmosphere. In the early 60s, they started using plastic tubes. The tubes cracked. They didn't shut tightly. Polyurethane. Coins should not be loose in a tube. Well, yeah, that's because they bounce around and bang into each other. Okay. They like polyurethane. Of course, now I don't know. That probably gives you PVC contamination today. Holders. Paper envelopes used by other collectors. Coin every time a coin was to be examined had to be removed from the envelope. That's what I say, man. You put stuff, you encapsulate something and whatever, and you can always have to be removing it. What? Mine with Mylar. They're just explaining what a paper Mylar holder is. Somebody crimped. It has a special stapler to do the staples flat. Really. Uh-oh. The paper dust particles from the cardboard tend to stick to the window because of static electricity. You gotta look through the particles of paper to see your coin. So it's intoning on the coin surface. These holders not airtight. Over the years, we have various types, and we all know what they are, and they're listed and described here. Acrylic or lucite holders have been available for some time. Let's see, and who knows if they're safe? I don't know. Mid-1960s, 2x2 flip came available. Joined together by polyvinyl chloride. Oh, there's your PVC one. Holder with a point of sizzle, clear plastic dust. Briefing, which has been in recent years about unsafe properties of PVC plastic. So here's your section on PV damage. Leach out copper, all this stuff. Hydrogen chloric gas release. Hydrochloric. Really? PVC releases hydrochloric. I didn't know that. And hydrochloric is going to etch the heck out of a coin. So it's more than PVC damage. That's releasing hydrochloric acid onto your coin, which is going to make silver chloride. Sodium chloride, silver chloride. Yep, silver hydrochloric. Silver chloride. Final flips are manufactured various chemical formulation. Yeah, who knows what they put? All kinds of chloromethanes and perchlors and crazy chemicals, because that's what they make plastic out of. And then talking about Mylar safe flips, which Mylar is a very stable, lasts for years. It's like silver, it just lasts for years. So, this is plastic. Several ways to encapsulate a coin in safe materials. Placing in a flip. All urethane envelopes are chemically inert and have available for many years. Inserted envelope can be stapled, so on. Coin from polyurethane envelope can be inserted into a flip pocket. And production. Not a whole lot here. This is another way to encapsulate the coin that has been available at 50 is heavy motor is cast acetate holders in the form of coin shells. These are marked under the trade name coin tang. Consist of 2 round halves. So yeah, they're just capsules. Flips, 2x2 double row boxes for flips. Small stacks of flips bound together. Physical security rubber bands. The sulfur in the rubber bands can leach through the porous flip. Produce dark tone band across the coin surface. Ooh, rubber band marks on your coins. I had an X taped across the back of it. It was fun to clean. Turn the flip over. Rubber band. Don't use rubber bands. It says don't use rubber bands. Silver dollars have also been encapsulated in plastic holders that were sonically sealed. The coin could only be removed from these holders by cracking and breaking them apart. Of course, that's how a graded coin is formed today. First plastic holders. The Encapsulate dollars. Alright, this goes into, they did encapsulate some Morgan dollars. And they graded them. They were marked for 3 to 5 years beginning in 1976. So that came with this book, 1976, when the ANA was putting together the grading system. Professional in 1986, professional coin grading service began grading coins. 10 years later, PCGS started. That talks about that. So it doesn't talk about, you know, what's changed with these grading services since then. Albums, Thursdays albums, sold articles, cardboard cutouts, the paper, because it held coins separately, was very dangerous. What? This type of coin album, while providing a measure of physical security, held the coin separately, was very dangerous. The coin surface were exposed to the atmosphere. Further, the cardboard tended to tone the coin edges, and the paper backing toned the coin's reverse. Cardboard dust and then presented itself surfaces. This inexpensive coin albums are not recommended for display of uncirculated silver dollars. So it sounds like the coin album was toning one side of the coin and not toning the other side. It was toning the outside and the back. Later albums were somewhat improved. We started using some cellulose tri-sig strips for the front and back that encapsulated the coin. So, you know, trying to fix it. Past 10 years or so, all the plastic albums have been available. They are originally made of PV plastic sheets. Darn, there you are. You got PV contamination. You're gonna have to clean those because they was in a album full of PVC, polluted, need to be cleaned. Coin chain is what they like they're telling you to use. And they made them out of plexiglass and lucite. This is in the 60s. Screwed them together. Excellent physical and chemical protection using plexiglass. Recently available albums, chemically inert. Materials they use from contact with the coin should be chemically stable. And that's it. That is all. The next section is grading, 17. This is a comprehensive catalog, an encyclopedia of Morgan and Peace dollars by A. George Malice and Leroy Van Allen. 1998. And this sticker right here says that at the end of the month it goes back to the library in Illinois at a transfer here. So I can compare it to my second edition. This is a 4th edition. And what do I think about cleaning coins? I think that in here it says do not clean coins, and then it goes to a whole lot of trouble to tell you how to clean coins. Don't clean coins. Now let me tell you how to clean coins. Okay? So sometimes this one here, it's a fire damaged coin. If I didn't clean the black yuck off of this coin, then I couldn't look at the surface to see the little copper pieces popping up all over the place that show that this has been in a very hot fire. It's the only way to know what the quality of the coin is sometimes is to take the gunk off of it so you can see it. And I tried not to do it out of character. I'm sure this coin looked just like this, you know, like 75 years ago on a table at a poker game. It probably looked just like that. This one here, I'm gonna do a video on this. This, like a lot of coins, has the cartwheel behind the letters. Behind the letters. It doesn't have the cartwheel in the field in front of the face because it's worn off. Because it's an old coin, it's been circulated. That's what wears off. I mean, it may not even be polished off. It may be burnished off. You don't have to scratch silver off to get it to flatten. You could take a piece of wood and push on it and rub back and forth. No silver would come off, but you would flatten whatever area. It's like block sand in a car. So you could flatten the reeds in the cartwheel without even sanding them off, without even removing them. You'd just be flattening them. So they are flat in the fields, but behind the letters, all the way around the coin, has the original reeds. And you can see the cartwheel behind the letters all the way around the coin. So that's kind of cool that maybe you don't have the cartwheel for the whole coin, but at least it's behind the letters. And you can see and you can imagine. You could tell somebody, well, the whole coin used to be like right there behind the letters, and see what it does in the light. And that will tell you, I know it's pointy. So I'm getting a coin. I just bid it on eBay. That has dark black all the way around the outside. It has lighter black in the middle. And I think it's going to be like this coin, that it has the cartwheel behind the letters, but not in the fields. And I'm going to clean it off, clean the black off, and all of a sudden there's going to be cartwheels behind the letters that you couldn't see before because they had black. Magic marker is what it looks like. Looks like another one of those magic marker guys. So sorry this was a windy one, but hey, the wind is good for me. Keeps me cool. There it is. Daniel. There it is. It says sometimes you're just gonna have to clean your coins, man. Sometimes you don't.